Here's another way that we can increase our pride and power. Model lifelong fitness. Now, I went to my dentist the other day, and the dental hygienist, something looked different about her. And I said, you know, I don't know what it is. I said, but you just look beautiful. That's all I'm going to say. And she said, well, I turned 40, and I recently lost 40 pounds. I said, well, that's what it is. And she said, you know, I started like at lunchtime, instead of eating so much, I was take a small snack and go for a walk. And she said, I realized I needed to do something. So now I think it's great to do that at 40, but I think we need to do it lifelong. I saw a man the other day, and he said to me, you know, I ran into your sister-in-law the other day, and she looks great for her age. He said, and then I realized we were the same age. And he said, and I thought, if I had known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. Many people are saying that because we are going to live longer than what we think. Recently on my birthday, somebody sent me a link to a longevity site where you put in some data, and you know, it said I'm going to live between 95 to 105. So when you think of that, you really need to think lifelong fitness, not just like fit at 40, fit for the 60 years after that. This is my yoga teacher right here at 78 years of age. She is the one who got me into yoga. All I had to do was like look at her. She told me she never did any other exercise other than yoga. She told me she was having a trial class for people who had never tried it, and I went into the trial class and stayed in for 8 years. She finally retired because she just got tired of driving in the bad weather, but she still does yoga every day. So I showed this at a conference, and one of the women said to me, well, this is my mother-in-law, Margaret. Margaret is 88 years old there, and I don't know if any of you know that move is called the plow. That is very hard to do. I regret to say I haven't been doing yoga as I did when my teacher was still doing it. So I was doing yoga the other day, and I just couldn't do that. I thought, well, I have to get back into that because I can't do it anymore. And there, Margaret is still going strong. She's 92, still does her yoga every day. Here's an impressive story. Mr. Singh, 100 years of age when he runs the marathon. He is now in the Guinness World Book of Records for being the first 100-year-old to run a marathon. Now, Mr. Singh, this was not his first marathon, and here's something that should be encouraging to all of us. He didn't even start running until, you're not going to believe this, 82. His wife died. He didn't have anything to do, and he decided, I'm going to try to do something where I can get out and interact with other people. So he started running. He has run 18 marathons, but this is the first one where he had somebody 100. So, I mean, if you can start that at 82, that, I think, is inspirational for all of us. Then I saw a picture of a guy like this once, a little video clip, and the guy was running on a real cold winter day, probably like what you have in Minnesota and what we have in Pennsylvania. And there's ice everywhere, and somebody said to him afterwards, well, how do you keep your teeth from chattering when you're running? He said, I leave them at the bedside. But he's out there and he's doing it.